Namaste. So today I'm going to read Volume 3, Book 4, KotiRudra Samhita, Chapter 43, Review of Knowledge in the Shiva Puran. Hariom Tatsat. Sutta said, O ye sages, may this be heard. I shall explain the perfect knowledge of Shiva in the manner I have heard. It is a great secret, as it is the form of the highest salvation. In the assembly of Brahma, Narada, Kumara, Vyasa and Kapila, they had discussed this and come to this conclusion. It shall be known that the entire universe is wholly Shiva, that Shiva is in everything, but must be known by the learned scholar. Beginning with Brahma and ending with a blade of grass, where whatever is seen as constituting the universe is Shiva himself. The deity is called Shiva. When he wishes this is created, he alone knows all. No one knows him. He himself creates it and enters it, but stands far off. The Chit Swarupa, the Chit Swarupa, knowledge formed, being who is pure does not really enter it. Luminary beings are reflected in water, etc. They do not actually enter them. Similarly, Shiva too appears entering other things. Really, Shiva alone, the auspicious being, manifests himself. The ignorance of the same is a defect of the mind. In fact, there is no second entity. In all philosophical systems, the concept of duality is evident. But the Vedantins call him eternal and non-dualistic. The individual soul, though it is a part of his, becomes deluded by avidya. He then thinks that he is different. If he is realized from avidya, he becomes Shiva. Shiva pervades all Shiva pervades all creatures. He is the Lord of the sentient and the insentient. He is the benefactor. He who cleverly tries means of realizing him after resorting to the Vedantic path attains the fruit of his sight. Just as the pervading fire is latent in every block of wood, but only he who churns it sees it manifested to be sure, so also the clever devotee who makes use of the expedients of devotion, etc., certainly reaches Shiva. This is undoubtedly true. Lord Shiva is everywhere. There is nothing else. Shiva appears in different forms always due to our illusion. The ocean or the lump of clay or the piece of gold attains different shapes due to delimiting conditions. Shiva too is so. There is one essential difference between the material cause and its effects. The difference is due to illusory perception. If the one ceases to exist, the other is quelled. The shooting sprout from a seed may exhibit multiplicity, but ultimately it becomes the seed and the shoot perishes. The perfectly wise is the seed, deformity is the sprout. When the deformity disappears, he becomes the perfectly wise again. There is nothing to doubt in this regard. Everything is Shiva. Shiva is everything. There is no difference at all. How is this manifoldness seen? How is the unity regained? Just as the luminary called the sun is seen differently in water, etc., so also is the case with it. The all-pervading sky is not bound or fettered anywhere. So also the all-pervading Lord is not bound anywhere. The individual soul is contaminated by the ego. Shiva is free from it. The individual soul is insignificant and it experiences the fruits of actions. But the great Shiva is uncontaminated. Gold mixes with silver or other base metal, depreciates in value. So also is the individual soul in its association with the ego. When a gold alloy is purified with chemicals, it regains its original value. Similarly, the consecrated soul too attains purity. The devotee at the outset shall go to a competent preceptor with devout and reverential feelings. He shall worship and serve him, considering him Shiva. Thanks to this conception, all sins and dirts are removed from the body. When he gains knowledge, his ignorance disappears. Freed from the ego, the individual soul attains pure intellect. Thanks to Shiva's grace, he attains the state of Shiva again. Just as one sees one's own form in the mirror, so also the pure soul sees the all-pervading Shiva certainly. He becomes the living, liberated soul. When the body perishes, he merges into Shiva. The body is begot by the Prarabdha Karman. The perfectly wise is considered different from it. If a person is not elated or acquiring something good and is not annoyed on acquiring something bad, and if he has equanimity, he is said to be perfectly wise. By the practice of yoga, discrimination between the different principles is generated. Then there is a desire to get released from the body. The aspirant then is blessed with devotion to Shiva. From devotion there arises love. From love, the desire to hear about the Lord. From this desire, association with the good men, and from this association, a competent preceptor is attained. If knowledge is attained, he certainly becomes liberated. Hence, if one desires to be perfectly wise, one should worship Shiva alone always. He shall worship Shiva with unflinching and exclusive devotion. Salvation is the result. There is nothing to be doubtful about this. There is no other deity greater than Shiva for the attainment of salvation. After seeking refuge in him, one withdraws from worldly existence. O Brahmins, these words have been uttered by me after considering the statement of sages. You shall retain these strenuously in your minds. At the outset, this instruction was given to Vishnu by Shiva in front of his phallic image. It was then given to Brahma by Vishnu and to Sanaka and others by Brahma. That knowledge was then imparted by Narada, by Sanaka and others. Narada communicated it to Vyasa, and the merciful Vyasa communicated it to me. I have now communicated it to you for the welfare of the world. You shall establish this in the world strenuously. It is conducive to the attainment of Shiva, O great sages. Thus, what I have been asked has been narrated by me. You shall preserve this carefully. What else do you wish to hear? Vyasa said, on hearing this, the sages attained great bliss. After bowing to him, they eulogized him again and again with words choked with pleasure. The sages said, O disciple of Vyasa, obeisance be to you. You are blessed. You are the most excellent of the devotees of Shiva. The highest thing, the excellent knowledge of Shiva has been imparted to us. Thanks to your mercy, our mental delusion has vanished. Securing the excellent knowledge of Shiva, from you we are satisfied. This knowledge yields salvation. Sutta said, O Brahmins, this shall not be mentioned to an atheist or an unfaithful man or a rogue, nor shall it be mentioned to one who has no devotion to Shiva or who does not wish to hear. After pouring through Itihasas, Puranas, Vedas and Sastras many a time, Vyasa extracted this essence and imparted it to me. On hearing this, once all sins are reduced to ashes, a non-devotee becomes a devotee. This enhances the devotion of the devotee. If it is heard again, one attains good devotion. If it is heard again, liberation is attained. Hence, this must be heard again and again by the devotees who desire to get the benefit of worldly pleasures and salvation. With the expectation of the greatest benefit, it shall be repeated 5 times. There is no doubt he will attain it. Vyasa has said so. Nothing is difficult to get for a man who hears this excellent thing. By repeating it 5 times, Shiva's vision is attained. Ancient kings, Brahmins, and excellent Vyasas have attained great cities by listening to this with attention 5 times. Even now, if a man listens to this with devotion, he will attain perfect knowledge of Shiva, worldly pleasures, and salvation. Vyasa said, on hearing his words, the sages were extremely delighted. They worshipped Suta with reverence, offering him various articles. Satisfied and cleared of their doubts, they bowed to him, eulogized him, hailed him, and blessed him. Considering Suta to be the great Lord Shiva, they worshipped him and bowed to him. With good intellect, they praised him, speaking to one another. The excellent knowledge of Shiva is pleasing to Shiva. It yields worldly pleasures and salvation. It enhances devotion to Shiva. It is divine. Thus, the 4th meritorious and pleasing compendium of Shiva Purana, named KotiRudra, has been narrated. He who listens to this with devotion and narrates this with pure mind enjoys all pleasures here and attains salvation hereafter. Footnotes. (200) The SKT text of the verses 32-33 is defective. The present translation is not literal thereof. That pertains to 200. So the aspirant then is blessed with devotion to Shiva. Right? 201. Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, Sanat-Kumara are the 4 mind-born sons of Brahma who declining to create progeny remained boys forever. The Puranas recount their number variously, 4, 5, or 7. And here ends today's reading of the Shiva Puran and the end of the KotiRudra Samhita. Hari Om Tat Sat.